Hello, this is Sebastian from socialanxietysolutions.com and social confidence coach. I help people with social anxiety feel relaxed and at ease in social situations. And I do a podcast, do a YouTube channel, and I also run a social confidence club, which opens once a year for about a week, and then it closes for the rest of the year. And then I guide a group of people through 10 modules to overcome social anxiety and feel more at ease, or feel at ease in social situations. You be yourself, freely speak your mind, and so on. Now, some people make it all the way to stage 5. Some people make it to stage 2. Some people make it to stage 3, 4, different stages. So there are different stages on the journey of going from social anxiety to social confidence. And I was just saying to Tapani, I at first thought I should only bring out interviews of people who made it all the way to stage 5, because that's most inspiring. But I actually got feedback that that's not the case at all. And in fact, for some people, it's intimidating to hear from people at stage 5, because it's like, well, I cannot see myself making that leap. That's too far from where I am. So I asked some people that are not at stage 5 yet, but that have made significant progress. Hey, would you be willing to share about what your authentic experience is and how it is now compared to how it was, and maybe what you're still dealing with, and so on? Because that gives people, well, for one, a perspective about where it is that you are, and it might help them to better able to relate to that stage. And that takes a bit more balls than someone in stage 5, perhaps, because you're actually still in the experience every now and then. So Tapani, thank you, first of all, for being willing to do this. And like I said to you, I just have a bunch of questions that I pulled from the internet, and I will just do a bit of a Q&A and a bit of back and forth. And you mentioned earlier that before this thing started, before we logged on, you felt a bit of anxiety. You didn't expect that would be there, but it was there. And then we had a bit of a chat. How's it now? Just as the check.
Yeah, I'm quite relaxed. Yeah, quite. I'm not sleepy, but yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Great. Well, question number 1. I think it's interesting for people to get a perspective of how it was when you were suffering at your worst. So what was that like for you? How did you feel on a day-to-day basis? How did you feel when you were in social situations? What were your biggest challenges? Bit of an overall picture.
Yeah. I think I've always been afraid of like performing. In the early years in school, I always, when you would have to read a poem or something in front of the class, I would always skip those days. I never went to those. After, I don't remember, around 15 or something, and I started blushing. And then somebody laughed at me, and then it gradually got worse and worse. I started to fear the blushing. And then when you go to a room and you think like, I cannot blush now.
Right, exactly.
Plus, it's terrible. You walk and then it happens. And that in university, I always tried to go to the room for the back so people couldn't see me, and try to develop all these kind of things to avoid people seeing me blush. Yeah. But then I moved to another city, smaller one, and it was still very bad there, but the group was small. Where the school was small school, and the people there were accepting and like that. So in the school there, it was not bad anymore. But like still many places, like I remember going to a barber, cut my hair, and I was in a panic mode because I thought that if I blush now, the lady who's doing the haircut thinks I'm crazy, or finds out that I'm crazy. You know?
Right.
Try to hide that because there was something, I felt that something terribly wrong with me, and it was shameful, and it was, I think also it was worse at that time because I'm a man. The man has to be a man, you know.
Right.
They'll blush and be like that, but yeah, a man, you have to be strong. Yeah, so it was even worse. Like the shame, trying to,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I read all the books in the library, all the stuff books were there, yeah, but of course they didn't help. Then I got children, and that helped a bit because I moved the perspective to them outside from myself. So I didn't have to concentrate on myself all the time. It was better. But then when the internet came finally, and I started searching things, and then I found and started doing it. It helped some. Then I found your stuff when you started, and started following you, and it felt very good. I bought one of your courses, the early ones, and did a lot of tapping with that, all the childhood package things, all that. I mean, it helped a lot. Yeah. Then yeah, and I've been doing it like every once in a while, like there were long pauses between when I felt better. I almost forgot about it. Yeah, and then I also got the habit at that time when I went to work in the morning. I was a bit anxious, and every morning I would do some tapping till that feeling went away, and it was very good. And now, yeah, nowadays I'm rarely anxious anymore. So it's maybe a few times a year or something like that. It's also maybe because my life is like quiet. I don't see that many people. I work by myself. I meet a few clients. With them these days, I'm totally relaxed, which wasn't the case 20 years ago. I was always scared of the clients, kind of. Yeah, you know, what if they found out crazy?
Gotcha.
But weird, trying to hide that. Yeah, but then when this last 30-day challenge came out, I studied that, and it felt very good. And after that, I took the Social Confidence Club. I've been following that for 1 year now, and it has been a very good year for me. Yeah. It has still helped me, even though I thought that it was quite good. But yeah, I'm much better now.
Excellent. And were there other things that you tried aside from self-help before you found tapping?
I went to a what's the word?
Psychiatrist?
But he was not. He was kind of an active kind of.
A what? It broke up. I didn't hear that.
He was not a some kind of alternative kind of a psychiatrist, not a traditional. And I went there for a few times, but it didn't help really. I don't think he was good. Then I stopped that. But that, yeah. I did meditation. Yeah, I studied it for when I was 17, and it didn't help with the anxiety. It helped with many other things. Yeah, to like get some insight, what to do and what not to do, and like that. And I definitely recommend that. I did the TM meditation. And at that time, I did it regularly for many years. I still do it sometimes, but not every day. Yeah. But that was very good, but it didn't take out the anxiety.
Right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And so before you joined the club, were there any doubts about joining?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit like it felt like intimidating, be in front of a group, and how can I do it? And like being in front of a camera has always been very difficult for me. Like my worst nightmare would have been that I would the street and a guy with a local news with a camera would come on and ask me something. Then everybody in my city would know that this is a weird guy.
Got it.
So that was the first nightmare. Every time I saw somebody with a camera, I would try to walk away.
And so, because you knew that there was a coaching element, which is a big part of the Social Confidence Club, that was intimidating to you, right?
Yeah. Being asked questions and not being able to or be sounding stupid or being in front of the group also, and I cannot, at least these things. Yeah.
Right. Let me speak to that before people get worried. So what we do is the Social Confidence Club consists of a Wednesday email where you get specific tapping exercises to address the social anxiety issues, as well as tap alongs and so on, psychology lessons. And then every Friday, well, let's just say once a week, there's a live coaching webinar. Now you're free to attend those. You don't have to attend those. You could also watch the replays. Watching the replays is an opportunity to remain completely anonymous and still get results because you're tapping along with the others. A level of challenge up from that is being there live, but being invisible and mute. And then a level up from that is being visible and mute. And then the highest level, or the second highest level, is participating. And the absolute highest level is like, oh, you're actually the volunteer. And so you can play with your exposure level there. And what is different about this is that everyone on the call is dealing with social anxiety. And I, as the coach, know exactly what it is like to be dealing with social anxiety. So it's a very compassionate, non-judgmental place. And we actually welcome your anxiety. In fact, we encourage it. We like it if you get anxious because then we've got stuff to tap on. We've got lots of stuff to tap on anyway, but we welcome the anxiety. It's a good thing. We're creating a completely different relationship with it. We're allowing it. It's not something you have to hide. And so there are different levels of actually participating. And sometimes people remain completely anonymous throughout the whole period that they're part of the club. And some people, they kind of work up their way. So they start anonymous, and then they join with audio, and then eventually, they're talking and speaking, and they become regulars. It just depends. It's different levels, and nothing is forced upon you. You have opportunity.
Yeah,
Right?
I think this is like a perfect format because there are so many different levels that you can participate. Like just like you said, it's very well thought out. This thing. It's so
Thank you.
very easy to participate. I was thinking like, what would be another way that would be as good. The only thing that came up my mind would take a group of people to an island, like for a month, and and deal with them like a kind of a Temptation Island,
All right,
reality show thing. But that would be difficult.
Yeah. You know what? I did that 3 years ago. We had a retreat. It was just it's not a month, but it was 7 days. Yeah, it was powerful. Yeah. And I will be doing something like that in the future once pandemic is normal again.
It's like you can do it at home at your own and watch the replays, and if you cannot participate,
exactly,
watching the replays is always it's also very helpful and tapping along.
Awesome. How did you feel once you joined?
It was easier than I thought, because at first you don't have to say. I think I participated at the beginning, but you don't. You can just watch and tap along, and then at some point you asked us to maybe say our name or say hello, and that was it. Everybody can do that, or at those people. So that was easy to do that, and then maybe later, a few months later, you can say a few sentences, and it gradually builds on that. So it's I like it very much. I think it's a very good system.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and so how are things now with the blushing, and just in general with the anxiety?
The blushing has gone away almost completely. Like sometimes I get some heat in my face. I don't try to avoid it anymore. So it's just natural. I say something stupid and I maybe get that feeling, but it's not a big thing. So everybody blushes sometimes. So it's that's natural. You're human.
Nice.
So, So it's going away almost totally.
That's fantastic.
Sometimes I also still have this maybe sitting with a group somewhere and then gradually not blushing, but the heat starts to build up in my face, so I feel hot. I think that is still there. I haven't had it for a year, but I think it may be still there. I don't know.
Gotcha.
So big one.
And how's that different from how it used to be when you blushed? What would happen then? What was your experience then?
Yeah, there was this panic. I was looking for ways to hide. If I'm sitting at a table, can I stand up and go somewhere? Do that now? Can I go to the toilet? Can I? And if not, then I would just feel this terrible shame. And the people look at me like, what's happening here? Why is he suddenly red and feeling that awkward feeling?
Right. And how would it then be after an episode where you blushed?
Yeah, kind of a depressed feeling. afterwards. Yeah, this is like it, and I cannot do anything about it, and this is my life, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I can very much relate to the blushing. My social anxiety started with blushing.
Mm.
It started after I blushed. So I
Yeah,
blushed, and then afterwards, it's a very similar story. I was afraid of them blushing again,
yeah,
and whenever I'd become the center of attention, I blushed. Whenever I was criticized, I blushed. Whenever there was talk about girls or attractiveness, I
yeah,
blushed.
yeah, yeah,
Or whenever I was challenged, or whenever someone made fun of me, I blushed. Like, and it just became like all the time, and scared of blushing, and worried that in this moment I can absolutely not blush, because
mm.
that would mean XYZ,
Yes,
right? Like
yeah,
the
exactly.
most horrible. Oh, it was torture for a long time. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it was like you talked about girls. For me, it was also like um, something about if somebody talked about sex.
Mm,
Um, it wasn't embarrassing for me, but like I thought that now if I blush, they think I have a problem with sexuality,
right.
and then I would blush.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. That's a good example. That's a
Yeah,
good example. Yeah. Yeah. It consumed my thinking, right? Just like the anxiety, and what you said earlier. Yeah. Like, I'm a man. I'm not supposed to
mm,
blush.
yeah,
This is weak. They see that
yeah,
they see me being weak, this
yeah,
is pathetic, and blah blah blah. I'm very harsh on myself, and all of that, which
yeah,
perpetuates the problem. But
yeah, and also that at that time I thought I was the only one
mm,
because I didn't see it in my friends or anything. Yeah, and like of course there were others, but I didn't meet them. So I think I was the worst case in the world.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly, same,
something
same.
wrong with me.
Mm, okay, well, great that's pretty much
Yeah,
done.
yeah,
Spectacular.
it's wonderful. Yeah.
Mm. And how about what else is different?
Hmm. Hmm. I can talk to people easily, so it's not like I can even start conversations nowadays.
Mm, mm,
That wouldn't be the case like 20 years ago. Yeah. So
awesome.
yeah, and yeah, being relaxed. When you are relaxed, you get back your sense of humor, if there is any. And
Exactly.
yeah, I know that. Yeah, being also at that time I was tired most of the time because being anxious makes you tired afterwards.
Yeah.
I have much more energy nowadays.
Mm, right. Yeah, it is exhausting because your system is in survival mode. So your
Yeah,
heart's racing faster, blood's pumping, the
yeah,
cortisol and adrenaline is in your system, racing. So yeah, you use up a lot more energy when you're experiencing anxiety. So when
yeah,
you don't do that anymore, yeah, you have more energy, you feel more
yeah,
relaxed, your body feels better,
yeah,
all,
exactly. Yeah.
all that stuff.
So yeah.
Great.
So I definitely recommend people with social anxiety to participate in this group. This is I think I think be the best out there. you know, it's so well thought out. This whole system. Yeah, you've been like doing this for so long that it's gotten better all the time.
Mm,
Your
thank
thinking
you.
also. Yeah.
What do you like best about the club?
It's also meeting me like seeing these other people with anxiety and them talking about it and then realizing like yeah, it's not so strange after people have it, and also the WhatsApp group is nice. People can ask for advice or anything, or tell their experiences, how something went good after all, or like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So part of the club is also our group WhatsApp. But in the coming club, we're going to actually do mini groups where you have a mini group of 5 people. This is all voluntarily. You don't have to participate in it, but it's a mini group of probably 5. That's your support group, your accountability group. But what we have had and what we also will have is like the big group. So everyone is in the big group. That's people from all over the world. And whenever you're struggling with something, you can report that and people will support you. Whenever you have questions, people will have answers or suggestions.
Yeah.
You know, whenever you don't know where a particular resource is, people will provide it to you. People report wins that they're having, you know. So I talk things in it. We put little quotes in it. So it's a really cool thing, you know, all people going in the same direction.
So the technology these days helps you very much with many things, but with anxiety also.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, I wanted to ask you this. So why do you think others might doubt joining the club? Why might they not, or why might they have worries?
For someone, it might be because they don't have that money, because you have to pay for it, of course, and it's you need that money to participate. But what else? I don't know. Yeah, maybe cannot see the possibilities there, or maybe they think that nothing can be done. Like I thought, time that this is it. Deal with
Right. Yeah. Like I
hide for the rest of your life now.
Yeah. I am the tougher case of the tough cases that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
They might be able to change, but not me.
Yeah.
Right.
And that may also be the for someone.
Yeah. And that kind of thinking is actually self-protective, because it's like, well, if I'm going to go and participate in this, I'm going to get my hopes up, and then I might find out that it doesn't work, and then I'm going to be even more down on myself and my future. And you know, I have to risk giving up what I'm familiar with. It really sucks, but at least I'm familiar with this. And if I start participating in this, you know, what if it doesn't work? Well, what if it does work? You know, what if it does work?
Yeah, and also like this avoidance, like it's easier when you're anxious. It's easier to stay home than go to a club or somewhere. So it may be with this, it may be also like that. It's easier to continue the old life than to start something scary.
Good point.
Scary, yeah.
Good point. Yeah, it's easier to just pop on Netflix.
Yeah.
And distract yourself.
Then you get immediate like relaxation watching TV.
Right.
It's a group where you have to say hello to strange people.
Right. However, that being said, like there are people. There's an interview coming out actually very soon of someone who. Well, I thought that she didn't participate at all because I didn't remember, but she had joined one live meeting, I think, out of the whole year. And for the rest, I didn't see her. So she was pretty much anonymous. I didn't see her on the WhatsApp, and yet she overcame her social anxiety. Right. So you do not necessarily, it's up to you. You can choose it. So it's still something challenging because it's different than what you're used to. But you decide on how quote unquote scary you make it. And this is a fabricated social situation with people that are all on your side, that have compassion for you, not just because it's the right thing to have compassion. No, because they're in the same boat. They're having the same feelings, the same
Yeah.
kind of thoughts, the same kind of problems. And so you're helping each other go through this problem together as a group, which is so different than anything out there. So, and while it might be easier to put your Netflix on, when you meet that person the next day, or you step into the bus, or you arrive at work, or you go to the supermarket, or you're the center of attention, and your problem shows up, now you wish, okay, maybe I
Oh,
shouldn't have popped on Netflix, but I should have
yeah.
actually done that inner work or joined
Yeah.
this club so I can move through these problems, so I no longer have that in my life and actually can actually be myself and enjoy my life. It's a time investment, it's a money investment, it's an effort investment, but it's worth it. Was it worth the money
Yeah.
you invested?
Definitely. Yeah. 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 I, not to think about it, I could have paid more, but like because it has been so for me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's not that expensive if you think about it, but yeah, of course it's money.
And was it a painful process?
No, not at all. No, but
Mm.
of course it takes time because yeah, but if you want to change, it takes time, like practice. Like if you want to build muscle, you have to practice
Exactly. I gave
by just reading books.
exactly. I gave the metaphor to my mom, who I wanted to go see a practitioner because she's got all of these issues. She's like, "Well, you've sent me to practitioners before,
Mm,
and it doesn't work." Well, I'm
yeah.
like, for one, remember when you went to that practitioner that I paid for? I paid for 3 sessions, and then you paid for the fourth one because you were getting such great results. Yeah, but now my problems are back. And I'm like, no, your problems are not back. What is left is back,
Mm,
and it's
mm,
it's in your face right now. Well, these practitioners don't work. Like, look, if Mariska, who's like one of her friends, who's severely overweight, let's just call it what it is. She's like 30-40 kilos overweight. Like, if Mariska goes to the gym one time, do you think she's going to lose that weight? No, of course not. Exactly. If she goes to the gym for 3 times, is she going to lose the weight? No, exactly. This is a period of time because you've built up this crap over years and years and years. So even with a tool as powerful as tapping, it's going to take time to work through the layers of the issue. But when you start after a month, some people make profound progress. Some people make a bit of progress, but you're going to make progress. It's going to be
mm,
better. You're going to have better thinking, better mindset. You feel better. And it builds on each other. So it takes time, but,
mm. Also, one thing I was thinking that may prevent somebody from joining is that the tapping, like for someone, it may be strange. Like
mm,
that's weird to tap on your face, and there's no way that can do. But
sorry, there's no way that it broke up.
so there's no way how that could do anything good for you tapping.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so that's like yeah, if you're like a scientific person or something like that. So mainstream psychology doesn't speak about tapping and all that.
Right.
But yeah, it works. I don't know why it works. I don't think that anybody knows really why it works, but it works. Yeah,
Exactly.
the reason.
Exactly.
Maybe
Yeah.
someday they can find out what's the exact reason why it works. But
Right. And I'm the same, I care about results. I don't care
oh,
exactly what. I mean, it's interesting, but I just
oh,
care, is it going to make me feel better? And
yeah.
it does, right? So it's undeniable. And I had Dawson Church, PhD researcher, on my podcast, and he's like, look, there's 102 scientific studies backing up EFT's effectiveness, EFT tapping's effectiveness.
Oh,
And there are 5 meta studies that have been done, which is the highest level of scientific evidence. The American Psychological Association says it's it meets the standards for evidence-based treatments for public speaking anxiety, test anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder. But all of that science, even though it's solid science, goes out of the window. It doesn't matter, because once you have the experience in your body where you feel, I don't know, shame or fear or whatever, you do the tapping and a minute later you feel calm, that's undeniable. That's the real evidence to you, and then you're sold. So that's what you're really after.
Yeah, and also watching people on these calls, like when they start, they are like anxiety 10 out of 10. 5 minutes after, yeah, I don't feel it anymore. I'm relaxed.
Exactly.
How is that possible? Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it works.
Yeah. And that's also a thing. Like, you see these transformations when we do these coaching sessions. You see the transformations on screen. It's undeniable. And we also have our volunteers report how they're doing 3 weeks or 4 weeks later. And then they report on the changes that they've made. So that's also inspiring.
Yeah, people telling like, I did this that I never could have done before. Like, yeah, like I play in a band, and this being on stage has always been, very for me. But now these last gigs that we've had, I've been relaxed, totally relaxed on stage. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's just wonderful.
Amazing. Yeah, really cool. One more thing that did come to mind is maybe people are also like, well, I've tried the tapping and it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, but you can do some things on your own, like I did, and but just random tapping and or reading some scripts, or it does. I think it, for me at least, it did something, but this guided thing is more powerful. So if you have tried it before, it is not a proof that it doesn't work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I go ahead.
Yeah, when you have a coach and saying, like, you asking questions and tapping on it, it's a totally different thing than doing it by yourself.
Absolutely. I learned about the tapping, and I couldn't get any results by myself.
Yeah.
Then I saw all of the DVDs where you have these practitioners work with clients, and I saw this is the real deal. I'm still trying. I'm still learning. I studied it. I had the whole course, right? All of the levels. I worked through that for 6 months. I wouldn't get any results, but I was desperate enough to keep going. Only once I worked with the workshop leader, and he asked me particular questions to tune me into my problem, and I started tapping. Then I had my first shift. So doing doing your own tapping can really be great, but this is a skill. It's an art. And because it's so deceiving, because you can learn the tapping points and the setup phrase in 30 minutes, and then you can think, oh, I know how to do this tapping. No, but you need to know about subconscious resistance, non-acceptance, how the past influences the present, what kind of beliefs are here, what you need to focus on, what to do when it doesn't work. There are all of these pieces of the puzzle, and it's a whole study, and throughout the club, you're learning a lot about how to apply this tapping. You're becoming a lot better at yourself tapping also, but it's not if you haven't had any results with the tapping yourself, not because the tapping doesn't work, it's because you haven't been able yet to apply it successfully to the issues that you're dealing with, and that is something that you learn inside the club.
I also bought some DVD or with tapping, and also some audio dealing with anxiety, EFT tapping. I don't know, maybe they help somewhat, but not a big change.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think the biggest change this year for me has been like accepting, like before I always tried to like I will be relaxed on that situation tomorrow. I will be relaxed. But yeah, maybe it's helped a bit. But like now, it's okay. I can think that it's okay if I'm not relaxed. I can, yeah, that's fine. My body doing things. Yeah, but it doesn't matter anymore. So then you are not fighting with yourself anymore. You're just absorbing, like, is this okay? Yeah, and then it goes away.
Absolutely. And in fact, acceptance actually makes the problems go away quicker. Yeah. And for the longest time, I was tapping in the same way that you're describing. I was trying to get rid of all of my negative feelings. I didn't want to feel anything negative, and no fear, no anxiety ever. But that put my mind on the lookout for it. It's like, oh, I can't do this because I might get anxious. What if this happens? What if I feel that emotion? And actually, once I started really integrating the acceptance work, was when things started to change. Because if you're okay with feeling anxiety, if it doesn't bother you anymore, you don't get upset about it, you don't judge yourself for it, that's tremendous freedom. Now, acceptance doesn't mean that you are not going to get rid of the anxiety. It just means that you're okay with yourself and you're okay with the anxiety while you're in the process of neutralizing it.
Yeah,
because it takes time.
It's just something like, okay, now I have this back pain, but yeah, okay, maybe tomorrow it will be gone. So it's just absorbing it, like that. This anxiety came now, okay, I learned it somewhere, but yeah, that's fine. I can deal with it.
And what are you still struggling with? What's still difficult?
I'm not struggling much, but I think I could still. I think I know that I will not stop tapping. I will continue with. I think it's like that you should do for the rest of your life, because all the time something comes up and it's different things. Then I would still like to be more open with strangers and inviting more friends, seeing more friends, organizing big parties, something like that. Yeah, being enjoying that more. So that's the direction I would like to go.
Gotcha.
I think
yeah. So when you do not have that yet, there's something inside you that's holding you back from that, or from taking the action steps.
Yeah. There is still something.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's simply the next level to work through. Yeah. I was pretty much anxiety free, but I still didn't enjoy being around people. And getting to that stage was simply like another layer. And I just want to briefly say, I will keep tapping for the rest of my life. It's something that you keep doing. That's not because, like, for me, the same, but I'm not continuing to keep tapping because I still have social anxiety issues to work on. They're done. I keep tapping because life happens, other problems present themselves. And it's just something that soothes you. It's something that calms you. It's something that it's also a relaxation tool.
Somebody shouts at you for no reason, or you get emotional for, and something.
Someone cuts you off in traffic. Or the internet doesn't work in your hotel. In my case, it's like these things. I'm like, all right, before I start yelling at this lady, I better calm myself down. So it's just great emotional management. But once you're done with a particular problem, like I haven't blushed in the longest time, and if I blush, it doesn't even matter to me. But I don't need to keep tapping because otherwise the blushing is going to come back. It doesn't work like that. It's done. That's over with,
Yeah.
right? So
That's how I feel also.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, I'd say I've asked most questions. Would you recommend the Social Confidence Club? If so, why?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you have social anxiety, please join. Change your life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Nice. Anything else to add?
No, have a nice day, you and everyone else watching this, and keep doing the work.
Awesome. Great advice. Tapani, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I think it's going to help a lot of people.
You are like, I could say that you have been very important for me in changing my life. Yeah, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Happy to hear it. Awesome. Okay, I will close this. So if you want to learn more about the Social Confidence Club, if you want to join, probably at the release of this interview, it's not open yet. We're going to open mid-February. It's going to only be open for 5 days, roughly. And we're going to cap it. We only have a certain amount of available spots. So if you want to be on the early announcement list, go to bit.ly/social confidence club. That is bit.ly/social confidence club. Stay tuned, and I will talk to you very soon. For now.